Midnight Token.
What's up?
Let me begin this way. First of all, thanks to St. Jason and Sandwich Baby for hosting this. I really, really appreciate it.
Cheers.
First story in the book.
Richard, we came here.
And you're going to have to do the accent.
VIP.
The first story in the book is about a place called Café 212, and there's actually a pretty deep meaning, but now I need to recognize some people in that first story. There's somebody known as Little Maiden. She's right back there, one of the sweetest people you ever know. She used to work here. Of course, we all know St. Jason and the Sandwich Maiden. Little Garcia's not here.
She's not here right now.
Well, that's all right. But also there is a prominent character who used to work here, but he's in that first story. His name is Midnight Token.
Oh, yeah.
And, as we do in the South, we bad to give people nicknames. And I walked in one day to get the Richard Babb special. That would be the white cheddar pimento cheese. Well, y'all just move on up. I can tell everybody And that's where I saw him met him first time, and I immediately said, well, hell, you're not even going to be Midnight Toker because you look like a Midnight Toker.
Hair was down to the chest at the time, too.
So anyway, I was suggested that I do about 3 songs and then talk about the book. And, you know, I understand people are going to come and go. But the first song I'm going to do is by Mac McAnally. Chose the songs intentionally. You know, the book is about the hills of Mississippi. Mac is from Belmont. And here's a song called Back Where I Come From. In the town where I was raised, the clock ticks and the cattle graze. Time passed with amazing grace, back where I come from. You can lie on the river bank, or paint your name on a water tank. From this town all the beers you drank, back where I come from. Back where I come from, where I'll be when it's said and done. I'm proud as anyone, and that's where I come from. We learned in the Sunday school who made the sunshine through. I know who made the moonshine too, back where I come from. Blue eyes on a Saturday night, tan baked in the broad daylight. TV say you're dancing fine, back where I come from. That's where I come from, where I'll be when it's said and done. I'm proud as anyone, that's where I come from. Some say it's a backwards place, narrow lines on a narrow way. But I make it a point to say, that's where I come from. That's where I come from, where I'll be when it's said and done. I'm proud as anyone, that's where I come from. Back where I come from, I know Mississippi. I'm proud as on Facebook, I've been known to write about this place. And I've been doing that for a number of years. And write about St. Jason, the boy's a saint. There's the saint. And then, of course, there's the sandwich maiden. But I have to say about the sandwich maiden, I feel like she is, the sandwich maiden is helped me grow. She is,
I crossed the bear.
she was, she's challenged me, to grow and to become more whole. And I came across this song and felt like I needed to dedicate it to her. Oh Lord, it's hard to be so perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror, 'cause I get better again each day. To know me is to love me. I must be a hell of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can. I used to have a girlfriend, but I guess she just couldn't compete with all of these love-starved women who keep clamoring at my feet. Well, I probably could find me another, but I guess they're all in all of me. Who cares? I've never been lonesome, because I treasure my own company. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble. Oh, it's perfect in every way. I'm doing good. Can't wait to look in the mirror, 'cause I get better again each day. To know me is to love you. I must be a hell of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can. I guess you could say I'm a loner, tough and proud. I could have lots of friends if I wanted, but then I wouldn't stand out from the crowd. Folks say that I'm egotistical. Hell, I barely even know what that means. I guess it has something to do with the way that I fill out my skin tight boots. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble. Perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror, because I get better again each day. To know me is to love me. I must be a hell of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but we're doing the best that we can. I'm gonna do one more. Okay. The name of the book, of course, is Borrowed Time, Borrowed Road. And I'm of the opinion that Paul Thorne, our singer-songwriter from around here, is a genius. I think he's particularly a songwriting genius. And if you will sit down and just listen to his music over and over, you can hear it. I go to the Wellness Center, and Paul's wife Heather works there, and I will say to her, I said, Heather, you're married to a genius. And her response is, would you please be quiet about that? He's not live with as it is. Paul wrote this song called When the Long Road Ends, and I thought, well, that fits it kind of more of us. Who were you loyal to? What were you passionate about? What did you believe in beyond the shadow of a doubt? Who were your teacher? Did you have one true friend? These are things worth knowing when the long road ends. I look down at my children, and they look up to me. Each day I pray for wisdom to be the father I should be. When they grow up and move away, I hope they'll think of me as a friend. And I will feel successful when the long road ends. When the long road ends, we will rest for a while. I'll hold your hand and we'll share a smile. Then we'll both look back over where we've been. We will have no regrets when the long road ends. When you find somebody to walk with you through life, you will laugh together. Sometimes you will cry. The storms of life come raging. Just hold each other's hand. The sun will shine forever when the long road ends. When the long road ends, we will rest for a while. I'll hold your hand and we'll share a smile. Then we'll both look back over where we've been. We will have no regrets when the long road ends. We will have no regrets when the long road ends.
Yeah, boy.
Am I supposed to talk about the book now?
Yeah.
Okay. I actually made a few notes. Don't worry, it's not too long. Like my notes say, I've already thanked St. Jason, the sandwich maker, that want to reiterate those things. And secondly, thanks to Lori Jones, she's back there. Lori, come up here. Lori, she runs a bookstore at Reed's. So this book came about because I've been writing a little bit for the years, and have written a number of short stories. And my daughter Ellen, who lives in Chattanooga, went to Ole Miss, bless her heart, and then got a master's in American literature from the University of Virginia. And I thought, well, she probably knows something about writing, you know. So I sent 2 or 3 short stories, and I thought, what do you think? And she said, they're good. You need to do something with it. Well, she's still a daughter, you know. I didn't know if she was just trying to make me feel good. Although she did add, she said, Dad, you need to find an editor because you got way too many grammar errors. So then I knew Trish House from the Wellness Center, and she and I had a couple of conversations. She's got a literary background. I thought, now Trish is the kind of person that she'll tell me if this ain't worth nothing, she'll say. So I sent a couple to Trish, and Trish says, no, these are good. Go with it. So then I said, okay. So then I known Lori because I go to the bookstore and found out that she edited books. And it's just a Mississippi thing. You know, Faulkner said Mississippi's a big club. I knew Lori's parents from high school. Philip Squeezy Jameson, that was his nickname, and Jan Harris, Lori's grandfather, the late Jack Harris, was my high school principal. And let me just say, I was afraid of it. You do not want to go to the principal's office with Jack Harris and mess around with him. And I just thought, well, this is just how it should be, you know, that kind of connection. She needs to be one to edit this book. And so she was editing, and I walked in the bookstore one day, and she'd been editing some of the stories, and Lori was like, you sure have a lot of dark stories in this. I said, well, no, look, it might have been. What have I done with my career, you know? And so I appreciate very much Lori doing editing, and also hosting a signing today at the bookstore, and I appreciate that very much as well. And then Sarah O'Brien, wherever Sarah is, my friend Sarah.
Sarah girl.
Sarah, she and her mother Hannah designed the cover. So if you think the cover looks good, she and her mother in particular, spent time designing book covers and stuff like that. And Sarah gave me some good feedback on the stories. And then when it came to publishing a book these days is very different. You got to market it. And she basically, in her own nice way, said I didn't have enough sense to do that. So she just has been helping me in that regard. So I want to thank those folks. Now, very briefly about the book. 23 short stories occurring in the hills of North Mississippi, and what are the stories about? Well, at first glance, some of the stories might seem very simple, but most of them have deeper things going on. Wrestling with existential issues all of us confront at some point in our life. A number deal with the presence of religion and church in our culture. What does that mean? Some deal with the existential issue of what's known as radical suffering. How does one reconcile radical suffering in the context of religion? Some deal with moral issues. What is the moral position to take in certain situations? Not a few of those stories deal with the issue of power, be it in the form of violence, or in relationships, or power emanating from religious institutions. But at the heart of it all is something I told them in new stories when they were beginning. And everybody remembers the Kings of Tupelo. And they came out to Hollands one Sunday night. Some of us gathered there, and we found out they were making a documentary. And I'd actually prosecuted one of the characters, Everett Dusky, in it. So when they heard that, they were like, "We want to come interview you." Well, I've kind of put a chair there. I've got a kind of a small funky office with a couple of Star Wars characters that have been given me, and some quotes on the wall. And I didn't put all the quotes there. They just happened over the years. So they walked in and they were looking around like, "What in the world is this?" You know, Robbie, you've been there. So they set up to interview me, and I thought they wanted to interview me because I prosecuted Everett Dusky for indecent exposure. And they started up the camera, and they were like, the first thing they asked me was like, they were fascinated by this place. They were fascinated by Mississippi. They'd grown up in L.A. They were, in case you didn't know, it was Mac and Chapman Way, and their uncle was an actor by the name of Kurt Russell. They had won Emmy Awards for the documentaries they had made before, and they were fascinated by Mississippi. And their first question they asked me, "Man, all y'all do is tell stories. Why do y'all tell stories all the time?" And I remember trying to explain why we told stories, and I ended up telling them a story to explain why we told stories. And then at one point during the interview, I mean, they were asking everything under the sun about the state, you know. But at one point they said, "You know, we know you lived in Tennessee for a number of years." They'd done a little bit of research. And they said, "Why did you come back here?" And I'll tell you, it just, I don't know, it caught me by surprise. I was like, and I thought, that was a long pause. This didn't make the documentary, but I'm just telling you. And I was like, well, I think I wanted to help make things better. And then it hit me. And I told him, I said, because the individual still matters. And everybody from Mississippi, I tell that too, that the individual still matters here. They typically nod their head. In some form or fashion, the individual matters. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, in these stories, in some way, the individual matters. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't know if I need to read anything. I don't really want to. I don't really think so. Sarah's saying no. And, but I appreciate very much everybody being here. It's kind of like when you're a country lawyer, and I'm very proud to be a country lawyer. We've got some country lawyers here. James Moore is a country lawyer. Kirk Darth is a country lawyer. Jim and Rachel, I count y'all as country lawyers. Oh, Mike, yeah. And I wouldn't have been much punking as a corporate lawyer, but I love being a country lawyer. And but you kind of have to like people a little bit if you're going to be a decent country lawyer, because people will walk in and they with every problem under the sun. And if you're a decent country lawyer, decent person, you can sometimes help them, you know? You can sometimes help them. And I'm not even talking about if they retain you as an attorney. I mean, they just come in. They don't know anywhere else to go. And they will tell you things they won't tell anybody else. So I've enjoyed being a country lawyer, and but I've seen everything under the sun. Everything, particularly as a prosecutor, everything. When I started out, I cannot tell you how naive I was. And then I became a youth court prosecutor over in Tupelo County. Holy smoke. Holy, I mean, abused children. Anyway, thank y'all for being here. And I'm not going to waste time reading a story since all of you can read. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. like something motivational that'll see you like 10 or 15 years in the future, and I'll be like, Richard, man, you steered me in the right direction. Right now. Does he do a lot of that work? What do they do? Y'all got to be proud. That's awesome. I know, right? Yes, I don't even know if I can tell you. Okay. So where do they get married at? Just the lake, sir.